Welcome back to another episode of A Degree of Dopeness. I'm your host, DeWanda Shelton. In this episode, we're talking about spring break, and we have a wonderful guest with us today. Teryn is going to be back with us. Yes, because when we get on spring break, we know what that means. We break and we break.
Oh, yeah.
So we're going to talk about ways to avoid breaking during spring break that don't cause so much damage when you return from spring break. So stay tuned. We have more to show you. You will not want to miss this if you get ready to head out for spring break. So thank you and tune in. Welcome back. Again, I'm DeWanda Shelton, and this is our host, Teryn, Tearing It Up Fitness. Welcome back. How are you?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Good. I'm great. I mean, I'm holding on. Holding on. But for how long is the question, right? There's been a lot of things going on this year. There's been Valentine's Day, the candy, the treats, the baking, right? The leftovers. How do we, I've been doing okay, but how have you been doing? Let's do a check-in real quick.
I'm doing good. I was like, things have been good. Working a lot. Going on and progressing every single day, doing what I can to help and whoever I can, really trying to make people's dreams come true.
And that you are doing. I'm excited that I will be showcasing a bathing suit for one of my trips, a two-piece, not just a regular bathing suit. I wore bathing suits before.
Yeah.
That's the problem. They think that plus-size women didn't wear bathing suits. I was like, what do you think we swam in? Our sweatpants? But now, it's a little different shopping experience. So the spring break is a chance to just kind of break from the old, get into the new, reposition some things that maybe we didn't do before spring break.
Exactly.
What are your normal traditional spring break plans? Because you're a graduate now.
I am.
Yeah, so what are your traditional plans that you're going to start that aren't college related?
Honestly, the first one is not going out and being a party animal. That's a big difference. Going out and kind of I'm taking the spring break time to go on and reevaluate everything. We're farther along in the year. Things have changed. We got a better pace of how the year is going.
Yeah.
It's important to sit back, reevaluate where you are, where you were, and where you want to be. So
yes. Are you happy? That's always my question for 2021. Are you happy? Is whatever it is making you happy? And if the answer is yes, then continue as you are.
Exactly.
If it is not, however, we're here to talk about some things, and we don't like to hone in on all the negatives because this show is all about positives, all about great energy, and all about giving people an opportunity to exchange life lessons or experiences. So even in the midst of 2021, the transition, everybody's like, oh, it's going to be the same, or it's going to be worse, or what can you expect? There's people that have stopped living. Like, they're like, you know what? I'm on break until y'all done with the break.
yeah.
But what if we can't? There are people out there that have kids at home and jobs and question marks and unemployment that is coming to an end yet again. This is, when do you break?
See, that's the hard part, because honestly, a lot of people sit back and think, some people working from home, some people have to go back into the office, some people are just all about, I take like some time either when you first wake up, some time right before you're about to go to sleep. Just take 5 minutes to kind of just evaluate your headspace. Just take the time,
Yeah.
It's huge.
And I want to touch on what you just said too, because that's a big thing people are forgetting. They keep saying, oh, you're working from home. Yes, I'm working from home. I'm not home from work.
Exactly.
So people keep thinking that just because you're physically in the house that you're available to them, that you are available to answer phone calls, available to make meals, available to do all the things that you normally wouldn't do if you were in an office space. However, your work obligations didn't break, even though you're at home and it may seemingly look like you're on a break to those, from the outside in. But how do you reposition? I know you said take a couple minutes for yourself to kind of think about your day before you jump into it. I do that all the time. I reset my day with God, and I reset my agenda as to how He wants it to go. And I try to make sure that I avoid putting any of my own personal agendas in the day, because that's usually where the hiccups come in. I'm like, can I just go over here and buy this? He's like, no, that's not part of the day. Your day was to focus on this. So those are the things we need to do.
Yeah.
I always like to check in with those planner people. Like right around now, you've either continued in your planner or you're backdated.
Yep.
For like 2 months. You started good in January, the first, second, third week, and then all of a sudden you stopped. Are you a planner person?
See, I'm not. I'm gonna be honest. I'm one of those. I'll sit back. I'll have an idea of what's going on, but I'm somebody that knows, hey, look, it's not going all by the book. I know that. And especially as an athlete, I know you can drop whatever you want to.
Right.
But when things hit the fan, it's all about how you make adaptations, how you go on and change your perspective, and can you, like, if something big happens, can you go on and swivel out the way and keep going about your day? That's the big thing.
That is a huge thing. How do you maneuver? Because 2021 took a lot of people off of their game. And there was some of us that recouped better than others, and then some of us that have not recouped yet. Yeah. And then there's some still trying to figure out how to spell recoup. You know, like, there's a whole lot of question marks on where we are as a people. And the question is that we just don't know how to regain normalcy. And this show has always talked about how to go back to some kind of normalcy. But I think the part that we want everyone out there to understand is that normalcy is not normal.
Yeah.
You know, like getting yourself back into a routine where everything happens and it's predictable is not normal. That is not even living. Yeah. That's just roaming through the earth, knowing exactly what's going to happen on Wednesday, knowing that you're going to have Taco Tuesday. No, you know, that's not anybody's kind of life. And if it is, I mean, again, if you're happy, that's what we start with. If you're happy, then you're happy. You understand? But even on Roseanne, they weren't happy living that life. That's why they had fantasies of winning the lottery. You know, like it may seem like she liked working at the lunchbox, you know, and coming and doing that stuff every day, and Dan working on construction. It seemed normal, and which is why it became a television show. Yeah. But there's also other normals to look for. Our normals, we've showcased all kinds of stuff this season. The single behavior normals, you know, hanging out, like what are your Valentine's Day norms? What do you do differently? Everything doesn't have to be the status quo. And as a management professor, we know that if you've done what you've always done, you're going to get what you've always got. Exactly. Right? So what is it that you promised yourself you wouldn't do in 2021? And have you or have you not kept that promise?
So honestly, my big thing was I sat back, and my big thing is I pray a lot when I'm frustrated. Okay. And it's been hard sometimes. And my big thing is I won't ever sit back and let a full day go by where I don't pray, and a full day go by where I'm just in a bad mood. I need, like, a lot of people need to understand your mood is your decision. Absolutely. I was like, bad things are going to happen to everybody, but your mood is going to sit back and dictate how you move forward. And if you have a bad mood, that can sit back and have a chain reaction for not just you, but everybody around you.
Yeah, because it's contagious. Exactly. Mood is contagious. That is a textbook answer, too, by the way, if those of you still trying to reference us. Yes, that is a very true statement. You lead the energy based off of who you are. And my students who have sat through lectures know that I always say, what's the most important job at a party? Yep. And then some people say, oh, the host or the event planner. No. It's the DJ.
Yeah, because he sets the mood.
He sets the mood. If DJ's having a bad day, all you're going to hear is sad, trap, I want you around type, like slow songs. But if your DJ is ready to turn up,
then the party's live.
Hey, he going to let you know. He going to play a couple hits, some Juicy J. He going to tell you to tear the club up. And all of these things will get the party momentum moving because he set the tone. Exactly. I am a big advocate for music setting and tone. So, do you listen to music? Is there any new music coming out right now in March that, you remember New Music Mondays or things like that? Yeah, so let's give us some new stuff. What are...
So, I'm going to be honest. My big thing is right now, I've been riding the wave of J. Cole, Big Sean. I was like, I like to sit back, and when I listen to music, I like to have music that I can sit back and listen to the same song 3 different times and get 3 different messages from it. Yes. Because I like music like that, because when you sit back and meditate on that music, it can sit back and correlate to every single part of your life. Somebody sitting back talking about heartbreak, it doesn't always have to be, she left me. It could be, they did me wrong. Yeah. This situation happened. It's like when you sit back and you listen to things where you sit back and people just express how they feel. I'm not saying that there aren't aspects in every song like that, but things where people go on and put imagery in it, things where people go on and put situations in it, things where it can go on and affect how you sit back and see a situation, because you sit back and feel the artist that you sitting back listening to.
You should love the artists. They're artists. Yeah. And that word gets so downplayed. Like they think that what they're doing is just making noise. No. They're making art. And we had spoke about this before about how I love J. Cole, but I haven't had the time to take in his art in the last couple years. So I kind of steer clear of it because I don't want to do it a disservice by quickly ear hustling through it. Exactly. I want to embrace everything that he's saying, because even 2021 when he dropped Snow on the Bluff, for me that was a new song and that was a new era, and it kind of sparked something in me that was like, hey, I haven't been appreciating this art in a while. And now that I have a little bit of free time, I want to go back and listen to some old J. Cole albums, some old, just Ari Lennox from back in the day before she was discovered. Like those types of things I'd like to do in my downtime because they may be old to you, but they're new to me.
Exactly.
So again, embracing new stuff. What else? Because I know what I've done in 2021. You want to know what I've been doing?
What's that?
I'm trying not to eat at the same restaurant twice.
Oh, okay. I like that.
Yes. If I have not tried it, I'll try it once. If I have already tried it, I won't try it again. I'm trying to work on experiencing everything that's out here.
Yeah.
And if I keep going back to the same Chick-fil-A, not that there's wrong with it. I mean, it's comfort and familiarity. But for me, I'm tired of being comfortable.
Exactly.
Like I don't normally wear my arms out, but I'm tired of being comfortable. I just want to be me. I just want to have fun. I want to break from the norms of everything that people think we're supposed to be doing. What is a traditional educator look like?
Yeah.
Like people are shocked that I listen to J. Cole. I listen to a lot of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Oh God, yes. And I joke because some of the stuff that I can remember, like Lil Uzi Verts and those types of names, Lil Baby, Da Baby. Like when you just sound like that, but artistry, I appreciate, I love so much. One of my biggest ones, and I didn't shout her out last season, but I have to shout her out this season from Dallas, Cash Page. Are you familiar?
I am.
Okay. Right? Something about this particular young lady, when I hear her, I understand. And there's a song called I Hate Dallas, or I Gotta Get Out of Dallas.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Break from Dallas. But what perfect topic for this episode. I need a break from Dallas. And in that song, she is literally expressing how frustrated she is with her town and just the things around her. And I just need a break.
Yeah.
How are we breaking? Besides Cash Page just getting out of Dallas, apparently. How are we going to break from our norm, our day, our year, whatever?
The biggest thing I can say is sit back and make yourself uncomfortable. You can't sit, like you said, you can't sit back and just be in the same routine over and over again and expect something different. Sometimes you gotta sit back and be like, that looks like that can be ugly.
Yeah.
And sometimes you gotta be like, it is what it is, and walk into the situation knowing it is what it is. I was like, the biggest thing you can, your worst case scenario is 9 times out of 10 the thing that will never actually happen. I was like, so many guys that sat back and talked about, hey, this year I'm gonna be able to go on and talk to girls. I'll be able to do it.
Is that
I'm
something
like,
they gotta coach them up?
It's hard. I'll be honest.
Well, spring break, you guys just jump out there. Trust me, they looking for the same stuff y'all looking for.
Exactly. We just gotta be honest.
Just gotta be honest and talk to them.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is spring break. I'm very adult. I'm very grown. Y'all are grown. I teach college students. I get it. Enjoy yourself. Just be safe. Be careful. Be responsible, because some stuff on a spring break can't break.
Oh yeah, that's true.
You understand?
That's true.
Some stuff you take with you off of spring break for 18 years.
Yep.
And then if you're still trying to figure out if his name was really Johnny at the cabana when y'all hooked up, and you didn't get no real last name, first name, social security numbers, you stuck with a break you can't break.
Yep.
So again, as an adult, you're very responsible. We're all responsible adults, and we can do what we want with our bodies, of course. But
I'm at
yeah, but the reality is that what else? Because that's a serious topic to touch on that people are afraid of, and this show is one of those that's not.
Oh no.
So breaking from certain things, breaking from certain habits.
Oh, that's huge.
You know, and we talked about New Year's resolution, but what about life resolutions? There's some things in your life you shouldn't take with you past a certain age or certain, behavior. What are some things you left in your teens or left in your early 20s, since you're still fairly in your early 20s?
Yeah, I'm still early 20s. This is something I gotta be real about. You gotta get up and go. I was like,
Yes.
that was my big thing. I was at a point in my life where I'm thinking, things are fine. I'm chilling where I'm at. If something happened tomorrow and your job just decided to let you go, would you actually be okay? Because I spent earlier last summer, I spent around 90 hours a week working in Nantucket, Massachusetts. And my biggest thing was, I'm working all these hours. If they decided to sit back and fire me, they could fire me and find a replacement for me in 2 days.
Yes.
And I'm sitting here thinking I'm working 90 hours a week. I'm irreplaceable. No, I can get replaced like that. They can have Johnny down the street come and work at their job and be fine and pay him less. Exactly. Yes. So sit back and understand you're not just, as top of the food chain that you think you are. Unless you run in millions and $1 million companies, you're not.
You're not safe. Nobody's safe. At any point in time, a job can choose to break up with you.
Exactly.
They can say, you know what, we don't have the funds to financially carry your salary anymore, or we just don't have the mental capacity to be able to deal with any more clients right now. We just want to close.
Exactly.
And the freedom of an entrepreneur is that they can do that. They can close tomorrow and say, I'm going to take my millions and I'm going to walk away. I get it that 500 people are unemployed, but they're not my problem.
That's not my deal.
It's not my deal.
Exactly.
If they're interested in being a go-getter or taking advantage of this capitalistic society, they too can become entrepreneurs. That's the mindset of an entrepreneur. If I did it, you can do it. So they are constantly trying to, spoon feed you only the pieces that they got.
Exactly.
Because they want to see if you can handle life based on what they were given. Because if you can handle it based on what they were given, then maybe you're strong enough to handle their footsteps. But you already know me.
Oh yeah.
You already know.
That's just how it is. Because in life, to be honest with you, if I sat back and gave you a treasure map, if you don't actually sit back and listen to the steps of the treasure map, you can end up anywhere.
Yeah.
But if I give you the same steps, if I tell you, do this, and you listen to me, I was like, you can end up down a path of wonders.
Yeah.
And you're going to get that treasure. But two things you got to do is follow directions, stay hungry.
Yes.
If you sit back and think, hey, I got this treasure map, I'm fine.
Yeah. And stay.
I'll sit back and go get the treasure whenever I want to. It's still buried there.
Yes.
You don't have anything. Just because you got a way to get there doesn't mean you have what's in the treasure chest.
Yes.
You got to stay hungry and go work for that.
And that treasure chest may not be your goal. It may not be what you think it is.
Exactly.
I mean, I know I've seen Goonies a couple times to know that, the real treasure wasn't at the bottom of the well. It was, when the boat got released and everybody was free and Chunk was able to take off, and explore the land. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes you got to unlock a little treasure to unlock a bigger treasure.
Exactly.
And sometimes people aren't willing to shovel for the little one because they think, oh, it's only 20 coins. But those 20 coins could help seed into something that's 2 million coins. But we don't want to take the time, take the break that it takes. That stay hungry, that keep moving, those are great issues. That's what we've been talking about all year. Stay moving, stay moving.
Yeah.
But this particular time when people need a mental break, they need a physical break.
Oh, yeah.
I want to make sure people are taking vacations because I'm a big advocate for vacation. If you haven't noticed, I've got on my vacation gear because I have to channel vacation time and break in order to be able to take it mentally and physically. I know that you travel.
I do.
Okay. How are the flights looking?
Okay. See.
Let's talk.
Let's talk.
People want to know. We about to get in these streets. What they look like.
I'm gonna be honest. I like Delta. I was like,
You like Delta?
I like
Okay.
Delta. I like to sit back. I like to have a movie on in front of me. I don't want to know what's doing. If I got a nice old lady that sits back and wants to talk about her grandkids, I'll talk to her for about 20 minutes and then I want to go back to my movie. I was like, I like to sit back. I like to fly. I'm gonna have my music on if I want to. If you gonna sit back and fly, fly. I was like, don't be afraid of nothing. Go out and do what you gonna do. We don't know what's going on.
And you're right.
Go out and explore. Go out and see what you want to see while we can, because we don't know when everything's going to open up. We don't know when everything's going to shut down. We don't know what's going on.
You might as well
get yours.
Go get yours. And I will say that too. Normally we don't drop names, but this season we're going to because people have to know who's doing it right and who's not. And I did fly Delta recently, and they are doing it right. I will say. They are spaced out. They would not tolerate anybody's foolishness commands about how they want to sit next to each other. Even though they didn't buy a ticket to sit next to each other, they said, I'm sorry, but you, if you wanted to sit next to this person, you should have bought a ticket. We are practicing safety here.
Exactly.
And I appreciated the stewardess for representing the organization the way she did because we're watching.
Oh, yeah.
How are you taking hold of this? And she was respectful. She was kind. I wish I took her name. But yes, those types of things we want to see. Because there's some people out there, and I'm like, y'all all need to just break. All y'all are exhausted. The staff is exhausted. People are exhausted. And there's some airlines that are running, and, we pray for them, because there's some I wouldn't touch right now in a pandemic. I would rather walk, I'll be honest. I would rather walk than to go to some of these places, to fly with some of these airlines. But the ones that are doing it right will showcase it. Even during spring break, I know that there's a lot of other factors. We talked about relationships, we talked about life, we talked about goals. But what is the mental break? If you can't afford a vacation and you can't afford a ticket, what mental breaks can we take locally where we can actually get away? Besides dressing like you're on vacation and sipping like you're on vacation, what can we do?
A big thing that I learned while I was in Nantucket too, like I said, I was working 90 hours a week. I was at the point where, you know, I wake up, it's on the way to work. I go home, it's on the way to sleep. So it's like one thing I need to go on and do is find, you know, how do you find time for that? Like how do you sit back and mentally go on your day? And I learned that, like, it sounds simple, but 5 minutes of meditating, just find yourself like out here, a nice quiet spot, like a spot where you can just sit back and you don't have to think about, like, you know, what do I have to do next? What, like, you know, we always have things that we have to do.
Yes.
We always have our next destination. We always have the things that we forgot to do, or the things that we need to do, or the things that, you know, need to get done. But just take 5 minutes and just sit back and quiet and just don't even talk. Don't even have no music. Just sit back and feel for a second.
I need my music. But yes, no. For some people, music is noise.
Oh, yeah.
And again, for me, it's artistry. And you're right, I do turn it off sometimes because otherwise I'll start listening to lyrics.
Yeah.
And then there's some lyrics that you just don't need to know the names of it. Like, this throat baby. I can't. I can't. I'm sorry. I can't. But there are some songs you want to absorb the music to, but you have to set the tone. And that is a quick way to take breaks, people. Like just a 15-minute music break. Go discover a new song or a new artist. I do that all the time. The old school me still looks for new music Mondays. They used to have the new releases on Tuesdays, sorry. Because I used to go down to Circuit City. I'm aging myself. I used to drive down to Circuit City and pick up my CDs. And I would go home and I would read the booklet, and I would see who wrote it and who stars in it and who's featured on it and who produced it. I miss the physical paper of a CD. Yeah, because you really respected the artistry. They gave you a label, and a lot of times we just hear songs hits.
Yep.
We want to hear, oh, what's the radio hit? No. This person took a year or more, possibly, you know, to push out this art. And the least we can do is give it the consistency and the respect to listen to it from beginning to end. So that's what I mean when I say I don't have time for the music, because I love music so much and I respect all the musical artists that I try to take in the whole album because it's a piece of art.
Yep.
And without any breaks, because the breaks break up the momentum and the content in whatever direction they were trying to get you to go visually. I know recently, Juice WRLD.
Yep.
Juice WRLD. Okay.
Juice
So
huge.
yes.
Mac Miller was huge.
Yes. And a lot of these, again, they broke too soon, or to some people they think they broke too soon, but I'm a firm believer that everybody has a timing and a purpose, and you know your timing and your purpose, and these babies serve theirs, whatever that may have been, or whatever the speculations of how they went about it, or whatever the case is. God already knew that before, so don't even worry yourselves with it to stress out about it. But what I tell you is that after they did die, I appreciated their music and the artistry of what was behind it. And let me get your take on Juice WRLD real quick. What do you think?
So I'm gonna be honest. When it comes to Juice WRLD, when it comes to Mac Miller, when it comes to a lot of dead artists, you'll sit back and see that whenever an artist dies, which I'm gonna be real with it, it's really sad to see. Like, it doesn't matter. Nipsey Hussle, everybody, once they die, their music is at the top of the charts the next month.
Yeah.
I was like, because we don't take the time to appreciate people until they're gone.
Yes.
That's a huge thing. And I know we're talking about music, but this is just for people, like people's artistry, people's painting, people's music, it doesn't matter. Anything that people do, we tend to wait until they're gone to appreciate the things that they have. And whether it's music, like I said, it doesn't matter. We take so much for granted. We're like, they're here, so they'll be able to do the next one too.
You're right. We always think there's more time. We always think there's more time to listen to the J. Cole album. We always think it's more time to go to that one place we said we were going to visit, or try the new restaurant. And you know, in 2021, time is very sensitive.
Oh, yeah.
Those 24 hours click by, whether you like it or not, whether you have a plan for them or not. So in those 24 hours, when you're trying to figure out how to keep from breaking, like your breaking point. Because that's what it is. This whole spring break is leading up to something, obviously. But the breaking point of our audience is clear. You guys are frustrated with the working force. You're frustrated with the environment we live in. And although there's some things settling and there's some dust and some normalcy, it still is a lot to take in. And every time we hear about self-care, right? Yeah. Self-care. Take care of yourself, self-care. Well, what about other care? Because it's not just about self.
Yeah.
It's others too. And I get it. I totally get the self-care thing. I'm all on board. Hashtag self-care, take care of me, all that good stuff. But what about others?
Yeah.
If you're only taking care of yourself and your response in 21 is always self-care, sorry, self-care, you're going to find yourself in 2022 by yourself.
Exactly.
Because all you did was care for yourself. So that self-care phrase that people manipulate and use around like it's an excuse to be selfish, that ain't what they meant at all. Y'all took it and went all the way left. Come back with the treasure map. You went in the right direction.
Look.
The treasure map says help others, and there you can get your treasure. But people are jumping over the help. They want straight to the treasure. They want straight to whatever they think is theirs and what they've earned. And self-care is the blanket that they're putting over it. Like, I don't have to help you.
Yeah.
I'm in the midst of my self-care. When you're done with that, let me know how that works out for you.
Exactly.
When you're done with that, let me know how that works out for you. So when we're talking about self-care, what can we give them as a different analogy for self-care? Maybe a different hashtag. I don't care what it is. Just something different. Like,
I guess my biggest thing would say you're not alone. Like, in the biggest retrospect, you're not alone. You don't have to do it by yourself, but understand you do have to look out for yourself as well.
Yeah.
I was like, there's so many people where I think it's funny you say that because there's so many people on both ends of the spectrum, but so many people aren't in the middle. So many people will sit back and be like, I need to do this for me. Like, this is, I'm taking care of me. But then you have so many people that are like, oh, like they need help, like they need this, they need that.
Yeah.
But then they're not taking care of themselves as well. They're not going on and doing little things for themselves. So we have people that are on both ends of the spectrum, and so many people have a hard time balancing both, to the point where you got people going all out for other people, sitting back, they damaging themselves trying to make sure other people got stuff. You got people sitting back taking care of themselves so much, you know, they sitting there standing alone. It's cool, but when you fall, who got you?
Nobody.
Exactly.
And the crazy part of that is that you were discussing how, you know, we all have these like breaking points, and we have this mindset of where we're going in the future and things that we expect out of people and expectations out of people. But you said there's people in the middle. People that are taking care of themselves, people that are only taking care of others, and then you've got this middle ground. Well, this middle ground is the fact that you should be okay. But people take that analogy, put your mask on first because it's the first one they think of in an airplane. Everybody uses that. It says, told me to put my mask on first. Yeah, but until you put your mask on first and go eat peanuts.
Yeah.
They said, put your mask on and then help others. But do it in that order.
Exactly.
You can't help somebody if you're drowning, no. But you can definitely help somebody once you're good.
Exactly.
It's the ones that transition out of, I either got to help myself and y'all got to figure it out. Like, here's your nuggets of how I made it to the other side. Or, not my problem altogether. Or, oh, here's all of the nuggets. Here are all the treasures. You don't even have to work yourself. Because then what happens? You can't sustain somebody giving you something.
Exactly.
You have to be able to manage it. So there's all these things in life. There's all these pieces and components of what needs to be managed and what needs to be done. And I know that management is hard.
Oh, yeah.
I teach it every day. And just teaching life management is hard. But you are managing to do a lot of things bi-coastally. How are you doing it? How are you sustaining your mental, physical, spiritual health?
Prayer first.
Okay.
I gotta give it up to God.
Absolutely.
That's first.
Yes. And don't cut that out either.
Yeah.
Like,
No,
people
that's
cut that out. People edit that. Like, no.
Second is honestly family and friends. Like, it's huge. It's really hard to go and sit back and be somewhere and, you know, you at work all the time. Come back, you're home, you're still working, but you got to include your people. You know, I'm gonna sit back and take 15 minutes while I'm on lunch. I'm gonna call up my boys. You good? My people, my goddaughter. You know, people that sit back and just, you don't want to forget how you got there.
No.
You don't want to forget who was with you when you got there and who helped you when you thought you weren't gonna get there.
Yes. Trust me.
And that's my big thing is like, you know, God. You sit back, you pray. You sit back, you thank your blessings. I was like, you bless your blessings.
Yes.
I gotta give it up to my girl Melly for that.
Yes.
You bless your blessings because
absolutely.
it's huge. I was like, they sat back and they helped you when you were down. They sat back and they motivated you when you felt down and out. They sat back and they held your head while you cried. They sat back and they clapped for you when nobody else would. And that time is huge.
Those are the cheerleaders. Those are the people that are going to help you through the madness, the craziness, the March Madness, the foolishness, all of these things. I appreciate you being here today and having this dialogue about spring break.